National Fire Radio.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode, where are we at here? 68 of the Size Up podcast by National Fire Radio, because what you do off the job matters. In case you forgot who I was, I'm Pip, the host, and I've been the host since, episode 1, and now we're on 68, but I think by now you probably know who I am. So we're coming off of like the FDIC crazy recap episode where if you were listening and not watching on YouTube, there was a whole episode that involves throwing cups at people and handing out free cups from my good friend at Taylor's Tins. But that's just some of the craziness that goes on at FDIC, I guess. And that got added into the episode, which was a fun time. But, I talked about it on the FDIC episode and just getting to see old friends and meet new people and connect with people who in this digital world of social media, you can connect with and keep up with. But when you physically get to spend some time with folks, it's just different. And I am by far one of the worst people for some strange reason. And I know people will probably laugh at this, but like I met so many people out there. And when they were gone, I was like, damn, I should have got a selfie with them. I should have gotten this. I should have gotten that. And it's just so overwhelming out there. I just forget it. But I think part of it too is also that I really just get caught up in the moment of actually being with that person, as opposed to just seeing a picture that they're posting online or a video or something. And that moment means more to me and that little interaction than I can really explain. And my guest today is one of those people who I was really fortunate to meet about, I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago by happenstance. We were both at a conference. He was teaching fire things and I was teaching fitness things. And the folks at the conference kind of stuck us together, I guess is a good way, our groups together, and our forces combined for evil. And this amazing dirty dancing dance scene at the end of the night, one night at a bar. That was a lot of fun. But Mike Torres, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, man? Pip, my man. How you doing?
I'm great. Do you remember that dance scene? It was kind of late in the night that night.
Yes, I'm recalling that. Yeah, in Ocean City. Yeah. Oh my
Yep.
God. Jeez.
Secrets, Ocean City, Maryland. Yeah, there may have
Yeah.
been some spinning in the air, and it wasn't Mike spinning in the air. It was me being spun
No.
in the
Yeah.
air by Mike. But it was
I thought it was
definitely a good
wonderful.
time.
I thought it was great.
And so we were at this conference together in Ocean City, Maryland, and we just connected. There was a good group of instructors that the conference put together. And actually, technically, it wasn't even the conference that put it together. I think it was like the Fools organization or a different organization that put together Hot Training. And we all just got along. And I'd like to say that of all the things I've done and the random groups of people that I've met, that random group of people that I was brought together with, I think I stay in touch with more of you guys than anyone else.
Yeah, I think you said it pretty well. I look back at, man, I really want to take a picture with you. I see the memories and I'm like, ugh, I didn't take a picture with that guy. And, I have to be better at that as a person. I think I keep them as my digital memories in my head. It's like, I remember you, right? You take back, you make fun of, not make fun of, but, some people make a good point of they always have their cameras up, right? Their phone going like, hey, I want to memorize that. I'm at a concert. How about you just live in the moment, right?
Sure.
I'm one of those people. I live in the moment. I know I saw Pip. I feel good. I saw Pip, right? I feel good. I saw, Ron Smith. I saw Ty Rondo. Arthur Ashley. I feel good. I see them, right? That's my memory. But then I look back, I'm like, shit, man, I really wish I took a picture with you. It's just one of those things, just to share that memory.
It's a really important thing. And it's funny you say that. I too saw Ron Smith. And then I turned back and he was gone and I never saw him again.
Yeah. It's
It was
Kaiser
like
Soze. He's just gone.
he's just gone. Like I was like, where'd he go? Kaiser Sose. Exactly. Like he just disappeared. Right. But I'm that guy too, where I'm like, put your phone down, live in the moment. As much as I have made my stake on social media, let's say, and gotten to this level, even with the podcast, but I love living in that moment and talking to someone, but I also love that memory so that, when that time comes that we were in Ocean City and I have some pictures of our group, it comes up and I'm like,
Yeah.
8 years ago, I know exactly where I was. And it even reminds me, as just being, a typical dude, let's say, to be like, let me give Mike a text or let me give Arthur a text. Like,
Yeah.
right where you're not waiting for Arthur to retire and be like, oh dude, let me hit him up and say congrats and see how life is. It's just that
Yep.
little memory each year where it's like, let me hit that guy up or girl up.
Yeah. I like to live in the moment now. I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to do my best. I do that. And it's even on the family side, like my wife and kids, I need to do a better job of that as a father because those memories do last and I need to be better at that. It's not that I'm not a committed husband or father. It's just, I honestly, it's one of my default things of like, it's right here. I'll keep it. I'm good. But I do like to dabble sometimes, like you said, the memories that pop up on Facebook or social media or an Instagram, it's like, oh, yes, yes. What's Pip doing right now? That's kind of crazy. I want to see what he says. And your words matter, right? I remember, obviously not fast forwarding and jumping into what we're going to speak about, but I remember we're at FDIC one year and you looked at me and you go, hey, Mike, you got to take care of yourself, bro, for your kids, right? You gotta get in better health. And that, dude, I remember that we're dancing and in my mind, I'm like, I'm just having a fucking good time. I'm just having another drink, just live it. Right.
Freaking Pip just
But
talking.
I, I never forgot it. Right. I never forgot that moment. And I don't know how many years ago that was, but you told me that. And I'm like, man, fuck, Pip told me that. And I felt bad, because I cherish your words and your words matter to me. And a lot of my friends' words matter to me. So I'm going to sit there and take it to heart and go, he's saying something, wake up, and that's when I took it to heart. So again, I'm probably fast forwarding, but
Dude, not
words
fast forward
matter.
at all. Like now I'm
Yeah.
like, now
Words matter. Words matter.
you got me choked up about my words mattering, right? But it's the
Words
truth,
matter.
right? Because again, I was like, dude, you got to take care of yourself, man. You were not the guy that I met at the time I met you. You know what I mean? And it wasn't something that I wanted to be like, yo, let me push this on you and just push, push, push. Because I feel like that never works for anyone. But sometimes just saying it in a casual way and then moving on about life, like we definitely did probably that night, because we definitely had some good times at FDIC out together for sure. But it's cool to know that that matters because your words do matter. And to me, you never know when you have the ability to change someone. And you were the impetus for that change. I was just someone that was reminding you that it had to happen, right?
Yeah. I and believe it or not, and again, I'm not stroking you, and I don't stroke. I talk to you as my friend, right? As we're friends, and we have the ability to affect influence on others because that's our where we're at in our careers and how we can do things. And but an individual like yourself, not it goes past a friend. So you have to honestly, like I do now for myself, and the chief, my new chief, always reminds me of it. He's like, words do matter. So the way I describe it and the way I say things and the way you said it didn't take much. It wasn't more of a push or a shove. It was a, hey, I need you to think about this. Things are, you know, and even how your tact tone and delivery of it. We're in our comfortable setting, drink or two in my hands, and it's like maybe I'll say it now. It's not too aggressive. It's not too much, so he won't take it like hey, I'm fat shaming this dude. You're a huge man. We're in a setting where we're both comfortable, and you're saying, hey, Mike, for your kids, baby, for your kids, and I'm like, yeah, and I went back to going back, but again, it was a good delivery, and it was enough to go, hey man, clean your shit up, Mike. And I'm like, yeah, clean my shit up. Pip says clean my shit up, and it stuck with me. So
It's awesome too because
that's
you can do that, right? Anyone can do that with anyone, whether it works or not. But I feel like so many people are just afraid. Like you could have crushed me with your fist that night if you wanted to for saying that in a way, right? Like it just would have
yeah,
been like, you could have never wanted to talk to me again. But for
yep,
whatever reason, that time I felt like this is kind of the impetus. Now it's cool that I have this kind of platform with the size up to get people to talk more about it and kind of what I've evolved my outside life into, let's say, what I do off the job. But it's still so important, and that stuff goes across the line. Like, hey man, you're not being the best dad, you're not being the best husband, you're not being the best captain, chief, whatever it is, in that casual setting. And it's so much more harder to say it to your friends, right? It's easy to say it to someone you don't know. It's easy to say it behind someone's back. But when you consider someone a friend, that advice is really hard to give.
Yeah, it's that again. It comes back to that tact tone delivery. What you did for me that day, obviously, spiral. It took a while. Took a while. I'm not gonna lie. It took a while. Um, but there were things that obviously had to change, and that goes to uh, it was more of I like what you do. It's vulnerability, right? I think people are uncomfortable with putting the don't talk about it. That's private. Ooh shh. And I don't want to point out my flaws, right? I don't want to say I'm a fucking huge fat ass, right? Excuse my language, but that's what it
So
is.
we get explicit
That's
every
oh,
episode gets an explicit logo by some point, so you're
perfect,
not
cool.
alone.
That's exactly what it is. I want you have to just call the baby ugly, and however it's done, and it comes more again, tactone delivery, who it's coming from, and whatever resource it is, or whatever, excuse me, level it is. It doesn't matter if it's chief, whatever, but it's when you're comfortable with that individual, it means something, right? And it means something. And being vulnerable on your end always was comforting, right? And it goes to anything, if you're comfortable with me, the way your tactile delivery is, and you're vulnerable yourself, it makes a difference, right? It makes a huge impact on anybody.
And now you're kind of bringing me back to stuff that I didn't even remember. So pardon me and all my loads of people that I speak to, but we definitely talked a lot after that first time, like on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook Messenger, about
Yep.
health and wellness. And
Yes.
you kind of yo-yoed a little bit back and forth, which I think too gave me that comfortability to say that night, although I was still probably ready to duck just in case. But, those conversations leading up to that, those all
Yes.
mattered too. And one thing I can say with at least myself and my way of going about this is I'll never give up on someone, but I'm also not gonna be like I'm gonna do this for you, And when you mentioned change when we were talking offline about this, and just how scary change is, it's the mere fact that the thought of change and being vulnerable scares people, right?
Yeah. I mean, who likes change? The person that came up with the idea. No one else. Everyone else is like, ah. I mean, firemen. Think about firemen. This is a Ron Smith line like you've never heard it before. Firemen are so afraid of change when they go to the store and they get change back from buying their food. They just say, "Keep it. I don't want it. Just keep it. That's scary. It's change. I don't just you know what? I don't need to deal with it." And that is a fact, right? It is. I mean, part of it is an ego thing, right? I mean, egos in the fire service are what drive everything. It's change is the other component, and if you can sit there and I needed to find my groove, right? That's the back and forth us talking. I couldn't find the groove. I was, this guy does this, he eats that, he works out then, he does this, and I couldn't find my groove. I had the hardest time, and it was up and down, pits and falls, and I explored all options. I've done everything I could, and I ultimately came to the final option of what I did and where I am now. It was a good option. It doesn't work for everybody. You can call me whatever. People have said things. I've heard rumors. Man, Mike. Did you hear about Torres? He's sick. He's got cancer. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't tell people stuff. There's that again being vulnerable, and then what the perception of what people see on you. They'll make up whatever, and it just became overwhelmingly. And I was just like, it worked for me. I did what I did. Let's just call it what it is. You want to say I'm sick or whatever the case may be, cool. Let's just leave it at that. So, I had to find my groove, and that's when me talking to you, I'm like, all right, I got a groove, and eventually I was at a breaking point. I remember speaking about weight, just me being a heavier guy. I put on my bunker pants on a fire, and I felt uncomfortable. I had to put like a key ring on my bunker pants because my
Oh,
pants were too big.
to add on. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I was like, nope, I'm done. I am done. I am completely done. It wasn't the effort at the fire. Like, I've always been a big dude and I've always moved fast with a purpose, but it was that. It was that. This is pathetic. And that was it. I was done. I went full blow, you know, I went just to the max. This is what we're doing. And I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm going to figure out this option. This is the best course of options, the best course of actions. I mean, and we're just going to do me. I didn't care what people were going to think or what I was going to do, but I did it. So,
I mean, and that's what matters, right? You need
yeah.
that moment, right? And that was your moment. For some people, that moment is they weren't able to perform their duty. For some people, that moment is they got tired walking up a flight of stairs. Yours
Yep.
was that extra clip that you needed on your gear right there. That was like, no, I have to make a change. And I think what people forget too, and what I love the way you said it is, you explore all these different options, and you have to do what works right for you. And even for me, and when I have folks on the podcast too that are like super fitness people, like I'm not a super fitness person, I'm just a guy who does a lot of fitness. But even when they talk about finding their groove, they've tried everything you can imagine usually until they get to the point that they're at. You know, there's not just one right way to get to that end point for you, it's the right way for you to get to your end point.
Yeah. And I love, I live vicariously through you as long as you just didn't know, and it was super awesome. I saw you and your wife hitting it hard. You know what I mean? Like you guys were doing it as a family. And I'm like, shit, man, that's awesome. Like I show my wife, like, check this out. Fuck, Pip's doing it, and, he's like, his wife's doing it. We could do this, and it was that moment. And then trying to call all buddies, all my dudes that are super fit and they're hardcore into working out. I was like, what are you doing? How you eating? This and that. And again, I finally came to that final breaking point. It was the gear. And then I started exploring an option I've never heard of before. And I thought it was weird and I thought it was pathetic and I thought I was a quitter. But I was like, maybe this is the answer. I don't know. Right. And that answer was, and if people are going to eventually start asking why, the way the doctors described it to me, where they're like, "Hey, we're going to give you the Rowan Y surgery." I'm like, "Hey, doc, fuck's Rowan and Y? Those are letters in the alphabet. That's good. I got that, doc. Cool. One's a vowel. And I don't know what that was, and it's gastric bypass, right?
Yeah.
Honest to God, I had to go and look up the research, right? I had no idea what it was. I thought it was, for these monstrous people. You saw shows, like, hey, you know, look at this loser. He can't get his life right. Well, I was that loser. I couldn't get it right. It was that. I think it was a mental thing and an emotional thing that said, you know what? Maybe I need that cheat code. I need that Zelda code. You know what I mean? I need that Game Genie for Nintendo. I'm looking in cheat books. I'm like, there's got to be a way, right? There's no magic pill. There's no magic shot. I'm like, I don't. Maybe this is the answer. And I did my research. I talked to a few people that did it. The band and the whole full thing.
Yep.
Scariest thing I've ever thought about. And again, there was a lot of rumors, and they're still out there about nah, man, you were sick. I go, fine, I was sick. Make whatever. I'm done.
Of all the things you make up, like I wouldn't, whatever. We can move on from
Nah,
that, but it just
trust me,
makes
that's
no
a whole
sense to
other
me
subject.
because,
We're not going to
yep,
get into that, and we'll talk
I know
about it
some of
later.
those
But
folks as well, so it's
yeah,
okay.
it's
Never
one
fear.
of those things. Where'd you hear from? Oh, that guy. Who's this magical guy? You said it. Anyways, I went through it. It was when I first because I was so frustrated and so fed up with my weight. They're like, this is like a 4-month thing. Like the surgeon, and my general practicing doctor, my physician, said, hey, this is like you're looking at 4 months before we even start it. I got it done in 1 month. I had all the 7 doctors I had to see in 1 month. The doc's like, hey, so you got to go see this guy. You got to see a psychologist. Holy shit. I'll tell you more about that. That's crazy. That was the biggest impact. It was a psychologist. You got to see all these doctors before we can perform this. I got it done in 1 month. He's like, you're done? I go, yeah, I'm a man of purpose and reason. We're doing it now. Like, sign me up today. I want to get this done. I need to get this shit tore up. I want to see what's up. And I sped it up. I got it. I got the whole thing done in like just under a month and a half, right? 2 months, call it 2 months, which is unheard of by any surgeon, any doctor to get this procedure done. And the end result, where I'm at today, I couldn't tell you how happy, how more alive I feel. The look on your face when we saw each other.
Yeah, like physically, I was like, holy, bro.
Yeah, no,
Like, bro.
right?
And I've seen you online, like I've seen your pictures, but I think I hugged
yeah,
you twice. But we'll keep that
it's
between
still
us.
coming off. I hear people say, like, oh, Mike, you cheated. You couldn't do it the real thing. I go, look, man, talk to Pip. Like, I tried this stuff. I talked to hundreds of my friends. Like, dude, this just isn't working. And I go right back. I digress right back into where I was. And am I saying this is for everybody? Is this the answer? Is this great? I can tell you, for me personally, it's awesome. If I could do it
But
all
that's
over
what
again,
matters right there, right? Is it
yeah,
for everybody?
yeah,
Probably not, right?
probably
And I
not.
think something, you were like, I need the cheat code and what people say and this, that, the other thing. The way that I understand it these days, and now you'll be my second guest who's done a weight loss surgery,
Mhm.
actually almost a year to the day from when she was on,
Oh,
but
wow.
it's basically called an assist now, right? Is the way that
Yeah.
I understand it. And I think it's a better way to
Yeah.
look at it because, sure, when it first came out, and we're talking 20, 25 years ago, I would say,
Mhm.
a lot of people got it and thought it was the cheat code, thought it was the magic pill. Hey, this is going to change my life. I just have to get this surgery and not do anything else. What medicine has taught us, what human nature has taught us over those 20, 25 years, whatever it's been, is that is not the case. This
Mm-mm.
is assisting you to living a healthier life. Because if you don't keep your lifestyle up right now, you'll be that guy that you were again. You have to put in the work. It's
Yeah.
just assisting you to get to that level, right?
Yeah. I didn't even qualify to get the surgery, which is hilarious, right? Absolutely the funniest thing. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have high cholesterol. I wasn't a diabetic. The only thing I had on my side were the criterias were I had a CPAP machine, right? But a lot of guys I know that are small, guys your size,
Yeah.
they have CPAP machines.
Listen, Tracy
Whatever.
complains about my snoring now. I'm like, I'm not getting a CPAP machine. So
and I was a heavier set dude, right? So my the surgeon and the doctor came in. I'm not going to bash my doctor or get him in trouble, but he he did what I don't know how many doctors in this country probably don't do. They advocate for you.
yeah.
That might sound strange, right? Yeah, right. This I know.
Not in
Woo.
my world. Listen, my wife is a patient advocate first before she's a physician assistant. And patient advocacy is something that is completely lost in medicine, all the
Mhm.
way down to the EMT and paramedic level,
Yeah,
where you need to be an advocate for whomever you're picking up on the street in whatever condition they're in, whatever time of night it is. Your first and foremost job is to advocate for that person that you're taking
yeah,
care of. So your doctor did the 100% right thing for you and for probably all of his or her patients.
yeah. I think because the surgeon and the doctor, they little couple butt heads because they're like he doesn't qualify for it. He's going to lose too much weight too fast. He's not a candidate for it. He doesn't have all this stuff. And my doctor said, "Oof." Took my blood pressure. He goes, "Oof, that's high."
Little high.
And I go, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna chart this, and you gotta take this meds. Yeah, high blood pressure, bad." And the look on the surgeon's face is just, I can always remember. It's almost like he was like, "You're shitting me, dude. Really, we're doing this right now in front of me." But that alone said so much for my doctor, where he's like, "I know you're sick of it. He can see it in my face. As a man, it's hard to open up, it's hard to cry, it's hard to show the emotions. And I think these days that I don't know if it's scary. It scares people to see like the weakness in a man, but he can see it in my face. It was wearing on me. He's like, I just need that life, that float. Like, how can I help you, Mike? I want to help you. And instead of going down the roads of a diet plan, seeing that dietitian, trying medicine, I said, I'm done. We're not doing this. I've went down this road. I'm a losing. He sat there and said, you know what? It looks like you got high blood pressure, Mike. And there it goes. We spiraled right down that rabbit hole. I got the surgery. We fast forwarded. And I was like, man, all right. Was super painful.
Oh, yeah,
I ain't
for
gonna
sure.
lie to you. It was not what I expected. I've never had any major surgery in my life. That was the first major surgery I've ever had. And I was like, oh, did not expect that one. But yeah, like you said, it's an assist. There are some strict guidelines for people that don't know certain things, especially when I have to go out with all my friends now. Uh, I can't drink. Um, I
Which is
enjoy
not
to drink.
necessarily a bad thing in a way.
It's not a bad thing. I have control limits, right?
Yeah.
My stomach is, I'm trying to find something on my desk. Here, you could say it's an egg, but it's no bigger than this little thing. It's super tiny, right? what happens with a lot of people that have this surgery, they take this, you can stretch it back out. And this is where they return to their size, right? Um, I'm not doing that. My will is so ridiculously strong that there is no way. I enjoy the shit out of what I'm doing right now. And no, we're not doing that. We're not going back to that lifestyle. And it helps me. I eat better, right? I can only have certain things now. I can only eat so much. And hell, I had a small mozzarella sandwich yesterday. I think I took 2 bites. Done. That was it. I'm like, cool. I like this. I really like this, and I don't have cravings for certain things. I it's just a healthier way. So I mean, I can't say again, not for everybody, but it has controlled my lifestyle, and that's what I needed. That's what I needed.
And a
You
big
know?
part too is learning that you can still enjoy these things like a
Oh
mozzarella
yeah.
sandwich, and you can still enjoy these things, just not to the excess you were in the past, right? Because
Hey Pip.
portion control is my number one. Like in my fitness days, I could tell people, I'm like, look, and especially firefighters, portion control is key. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying you only have to take 2 bites of a mozzarella sandwich, but you can't have 4 mozzarella sandwiches at dinner. You can't have
Exactly.
a half a log of mozzarella. As much as I love bread, even me, I
Yeah.
can't have a half a loaf of bread anymore.
Can't do it. Yeah. Hey Pip. Like especially alcohol. You want to have a good time? Give me 2 old fashions and a glass of wine, man, it's gonna be hilarious. Like
Right?
it's a
You,
complete
you
shit
don't
show when I
need
do it.
you don't
We
need
I tested
30
the
Coors
waters out. I
Lights.
think when I first got here to Colorado, my wife and I and my sister in law, we all went to dinner. I had 2 glasses of wine. This is just after the surgery. I mean, like we're still really in. We're only like 2 months into the surgery after having it post. And she looks at me and she goes, "Hey, baby, you okay?" And I go, "I think I'm drunk." My face is flush. I
So
had that feeling that
not only is your stomach like a quarter of the size of what it was, but you are also 8,000 more feet in the air than you
yeah,
were
that too.
prior to moving there, right?
Not helping at all.
Not at all.
I'm not used to any of that. So don't get me wrong. If you want to get a good laugh, and if we all go out and we're like, "Hey, Mike, today we're laughing, right?" And I'm like, "All right, cool. It sounds like I'm having 3 drinks tonight. Woo!"
Which
So yeah,
again is like that's it. That is
yeah,
such the better decision, right?
yes,
And when you see that and you feel that way, I mean, look, sometimes when I'm out still and I overindulge, I do not feel good the next morning.
no,
I'm not getting to the level of like I can't. I'm too old to do what I've done in my youth and keep moving on the next day. But I also can't. I know that I can't be incapacitated the next day, and that's a big part when you're again at FDIC and you're out hanging out. And I
yeah,
had some late nights at FDIC, one that was way later than I wanted to, but I didn't indulge in the way I used to when I was younger, and that just I feel like comes with age and maturity as well, not just a health change.
yeah. I think I definitely I think you can respect this, and I think I was talking to a few of the guys. I was talking to Dave Mullen, and a few other people, and we're chit chatting, and we are, and people could say whatever they want to say, but this is my outlook on my perspective of it is we are now where we looked at all these, the Mike Champos, the Brian Brushes, we see all these guys, and we're like, whoa, like I'm still starstruck, right? These are all,
Sure.
and these are people I call friends, which is really funny. I see all these individuals and these guys coming up, and it's like we are now them, right? We are now. I know it's
Yeah,
crazy to
yeah.
even think
Oh, I
that,
made a face. That's
but
why he saw me make a face because I'm like, yeah,
I know, and but that's how we see it. Like I look at
yeah,
Ron Smith. I mean, you name the names, right? The people that I know, I definitely still look up to, and I look up to you, and we look at these things now, and they're looking at us now, right? We're that new wave.
yeah.
We're the we're the people like, hey, this goes back to what we were talking about. Whatever I'm saying, it really starting to impact people more than we think. And I'm like, oh shit, I guess I can't do that anymore, or I can't say that anymore, or I'm gonna have to start directing that traffic this way now. And I'm like, holy shit, are we the old dudes?
We're the old dudes, man.
you
When you
know?
look around, I mean, and granted, this had to have happened to you before you moved on to your new department. But again, you
Yeah,
look around. I look around sometimes. I'm the most senior dude in my house, and I'm in charge. And I'm like,
yeah,
this is crazy. How did I get here at all? Like,
yes. And that is, we were at our awards banquet 2 nights ago at Colorado. I've never had one. I've never had an awards banquet, which is super awesome to me, and I thought it was really cool. But they gave years of service, and it's completely across your fire service career. And I'm like, ooh, 20 plus years. Ooh, how did I get here? You know what I mean? Like, I was just pulling hose a couple months ago. I was just pulling ceiling, throwing ladders. Like, how did I get here? You know, and now I'm at this level. I took it again. Now we're into that change thing. Like, not only have I physically changed, my I am mentally changed, and I'm in this new position of high stress. Believe it or not, this
Yeah.
is a position that I'll tell anybody. I'm not scared to say it. I'm kind of fake it till I make it. To be honest with you, I kind of was prepped to do it. Like, I kind of had an idea, but when you sit there and you put like a planner in front of me, and you give me a budget and talk about line items and talk about spending and revenue and things coming in and out, like, I don't, I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't. The IFSTA manuals, the Jones and Bartlett, they don't have books on that shit. Like, there is nothing to prepare you for that. And I honestly, yeah, there you go. It works. Like, I got it. Like, where's the new one I picked up? Because I was like, man, Brian, I got to get that new one. Like, I'm trying to figure shit out.
They just get
And
bigger too. That's what I tell people. They get thicker as you move up the chain.
they
My
do.
books seem to
What's
get
up?
thicker.
My paramedic book was like this. Like super thin. Now it's this. It's like 2 books. I think now you're gonna get like 5 book series. I that change. Holy shit! Now I have to. It's almost like you have to live this persona of like, hey, I changed this way physically. Now I have to change mentally, and now I'm in a new job position. Now I have to change that too. And
Well, I
I'll be
think
honest,
change.
man. Holy shit! I don't think I was completely prepared. I don't think I'm.
I don't think
I'm just.
anyone is
I'm
like
building
that.
up a new skill set.
That fake it till you make it line. Like I don't necessarily like it because I don't think any of us are prepared for change. That's why it's
No.
change, right? Even
Yeah.
when we do prepare for it, we read these books and we take these tests and we do these things. It's still different. You still have to learn, and that's where that
Yeah.
constant learning comes into play. And considering I'm still constantly learning how to be a podcast host and never really, did a great introduction of you in the beginning or let you tell your story because and
Yeah.
this too is what I love about podcasting is we can just talk like we normally do. It's just getting recorded for other people to listen to. But let's go back to who you are and how you got into this game to begin with, right? Like most people would
Yeah.
start there and then go to the story.
Ah,
And even
it's
you in
all
the
good.
beginning were like, "Oh, I guess we're going to talk about this now." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're going to talk about this now because it's genuine, right? People
Yeah.
don't want that fake thing. People in life don't want that scripted BS. I need to do this or I need to do it that way because I know I don't want it, and at least I hope the people listening don't want it. But to be a good podcast host, let's go back to early Mike and where you started and how you got into it in the beginning.
I'll give you the Cliff Note versions. Little over, I think it's been little over 25 ish, 26 ish years in the fire service collectively, right? Um, I was, I'm driving my car. I'm in the trades. I'm an electrician, and I got this guy Pat McGinnis next to me, a CPD, Chicago police officer, and I'm a union electrician. We're driving home from Barrington, Illinois, after a job. He lives right down the street from me. He has his foot hanging out my window of my car, and we're driving like 70. He goes, "Hey, Mike, my nickname is Bull. It's nothing to do with backdraft. I'll tell that story if you want, but it has nothing to do with backdraft." He goes, "Hey, Bull, you'd be a damn good fireman." And I'm like, what does that even mean? I had no idea what that means. I want to be a cop, right? My father's a Chicago police officer, family members, police officers, my brother's a police officer. Like, that was what I wanted to do. I couldn't wait to wear my father's badge, right? To be a Chicago police officer. I honestly, like, oh, I'm going to be a cop, man. I'm fucking shit up, dude. I'm going to cop. That's what I want to do. I want to live my father. I want to be my father. And, because nothing was more sexier than Saturday morning as a child, hearing his partners come in after his TAC unit in the gang unit, and my mom's in her robe cooking the 12 dudes breakfast. They got their guns on their vest hanging off, all the cars in the park out in front of my house. And I'm like, dude, this is the coolest shit, man. And they're telling stories. Yeah, that dude, he hit me in my face. I tackled that guy. I'm like, where do I sign up? Can I go tomorrow? I want to be a cop tomorrow. And my father says, Michael, he goes, Mijo, I'm going to disown you if you ever become a police officer. I'm like, oh. So this fast forward to, that dream died and I became a tradesman. But I'm like, Fireman, huh? Hmm. And I lived off my mom's dream of, my mom always said to me, Michael, whatever you're going to do, just be great at it. If you're going to be an electrician, be great at it. If you're going to sew sweaters, be 100% at it. I mean, just devote everything to it, Michael. And, now we fast forward to these days, you hear, I burnt all the boats, I got nothing else, I'm in. My mom said it simply like, just be really good at it, Michael. Be really good at whatever you're going to do. And I don't care. I'll support you 100%. God rest your soul. And it's like, damn, Ma, you're pretty right. I invested everything into the fire service, and look where I'm at. I never would have thought any of this stuff. I never thought I'd be on a podcast with you, right? Who would have ever thought I would have taught at FDIC multiple times or been nationally known to teach classes? It's not a brag thing, but I never thought I would be here ever in a million years. So
I'm right
going
there
back
with
to
you.
that, Pat saying become a fireman, that's where it started. I went to EMT school. I found a volunteer department not too far from me. It was very small. It literally butted up against Chicago. Hometown is the name of the department. So corny, right? Where'd you work? Hometown. They thought I'm making shit up. I'm like, no, it's the name of the town. I swear to God. That's where I met some of the best people. I had my very first mentor, Anthony Volpe, who drove me. Said there was no exceptions of tough love where he said, you have to learn this job, live it, breathe it, eat it. Go to these shittiest departments you can find that are burning, do the job every day to learn the job. And that's all I did. I lived that philosophy. So I worked 5 departments at one time, 5 different departments. I didn't know where I was supposed to be half the time, but I kept all the uniforms in the back of my truck. So in case I didn't screw up, but, and I did screw up many times, but I went to these departments that had fires, that seen fires, Carpentersville, Dixmoor, Fort Heights, Phoenix. I went to these departments to go, man, they're burning. I want to learn my craft. And this is before all these people use these cliche terminologies. My mentor just said, learn the job, Mike, be really good at it. Done. I don't want to talk about it. And, I lost that. I lost him. He passed away from cancer at the age of 36 years old. And, I digress and I think about it, and it's really messed up because mentally I'm like, I'm 36 right now. And he always fought he went to a lot of fires. He was a student of the game. And I'm like, shit, dude, thank God. And you know what? I know it sounds really messed up, Pip, but I'm past 36, right? And it scares me. It scares people,
I understand.
And I was like, hey man, I made it past you, Tone. I made it past you, kid. And I'm like, holy shit, we're good. I'm healthy. I'm glad to be healthy, but that's where I started, and I dove right in head first, and I lived off my mom's philosophy and my dad pushing me to be what I am today. And I didn't do this shit alone. I can't, I don't want to rattle off names, but man, you name the name
Oh, it's
and
all
you've
the
seen them in
people
the
that
fire service. They all
you've come in
influenced me.
contact with, right? Like they've all
Yeah.
molded you to be who you
Hell
are.
yeah.
It's the same as me, with people saying like, "Oh, you did all this fitness stuff," but I met so many of those fire mentors along the way, and maybe they were picking my brains about fitness stuff, and I was picking their brains about fire stuff because
Right?
I'm just as into that. And people, one of the things that amazes me the most is when I drop some fire bomb knowledge out in a place like FDIC, and people look over and they're like, "You're the fitness guy." Like, yeah, but I'm also a firefighter. I'm into
You're
this.
also a fireman.
Like
I think you're a
extricate.
fireman first, right?
Sure. And like, even when
Yeah.
it always happens. That happened at this FDIC. A kid will come up and they'll be like, "Bro, you're the fitness guy, but weren't you on that extrication DVD?" And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe maybe that was me. Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe." Like, and I
Maybe not.
still like to do that stuff, right? But that's because it's like your mom said, be the best you can be at whatever you do. And whatever that looks like for you too, it doesn't mean you have to be the ultimate. I've taken every class, I have every cert. Just
Yeah.
do your best each day. And that's
Mhm.
been my philosophy since the beginning of this thing.
Yeah. And I do take one of those corny cliches, and I shame on me. I don't know the gentleman's name, but he's one of those avid speakers. He's out there. I think he got it from his father, especially a recovering alcoholic. My father, also a recovering alcoholic, believe it or not. Um, he said, just give it one more day. Whatever it is, just do it one more day. Why don't try to plan for the future. Don't try to do everything. Just one day. Take
Yep.
it. And I tell everybody, I when people are like, how's everything going? I go, I treat it like an alcoholic, man, one day at a time. That's it. That's exactly what I tell everybody. Everyone's like, hey, how you doing? And I go, I treat it like my father, like a mindset of we do it one day at a time. And that's been working really well. I just one day
It
at a
got you.
time.
It got you where you are now, right? And it
Yeah,
got you again.
I feel
You're
like
not
it's been
faking
working
it.
for a long time, and I don't plan on changing that mindset for sure. It's working. Let's just keep with what's working, you know. So
No,
definitely,
and you're not faking it till you're making it. You're taking it one day at a time, right?
I
Like you're
guess you
learning
know
it,
you're
right?
100
Isn't that a
percent
better
right.
way? See, I hate that saying, and I know
You're
some
right.
folks that say it, and so now I got to pick on you about it. But
No,
right,
pick
that's
on.
it when you say that.
You're right. And again, you know, words matter, right? And I sit there and I think about it. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should stop saying that shit. You know, but I also don't. I also still want to stay genuine. I think you're right. I think I'm just gonna say, you know, like I always said, it's one at a time because I am genuine. It is, you know, it's not that I don't know how to do certain things. You know, I listen to Brian Brush, and you know, it's difficult to sit there and say, hey, to be in this role and try to do something new. It's man, I took this position, I took this job, I uprooted my family from Chicago, I quit the Chicago Fire Department, I came to Colorado Black Forest Fire Rescue. It's where I'm at, just north of Colorado Springs, to take the captain of training and battalion chief duties, right? Because it was scary.
I like it.
I did it because it scared the shit out of me, right? I'm like, whoa, I'm the guy. I am now responsible to lead a department in training and a command level. Now I'm the guy. Scared the shit out of me. Scared. I'm still scared. Anyone that tells you that they're not scared every day they go into a firehouse, I don't want to work with you. Please leave me alone. No fear.
100%.
Leave me alone. I don't want to. Do not talk to me. I'm not scared of fighting fires. I'm not. I respect the shit out of all of this stuff. I have a healthy respect for all of it. Training, relationship building, egos, you name it. I have a real healthy relationship with it. So I don't think that. I think that's probably majority of the reason why I took it is because this is a new challenge for me. I am taking my career into something totally different, and I feel that whatever influence and things I've taught and I continue still to teach, I can still have a different dramatic effect on it in a different way now.
Which is
Definitely
exciting
different
too,
way.
right? Because you wonder when people say to me, like, oh, you get that salty old guy. And like, we make jokes at work that now we're the salty old guys type thing, right? But part
Yeah.
of becoming the salty old guy is not taking a change like you just took and taking a leap like you just took because you can't be salty where you are because technically you're the new guy, regardless of how high you are, wherever. Like you said, you just went to your first fire department banquet ever type thing.
Never
And
did it.
and you're like, I'm learning. And I think it's even cooler when you bring in someone from the outside for training type position because you have fresh ideas to the department you're going to, but you also have to adapt with what they're doing. And I think that's just such a cool, if you can pull it off, which I think you're probably doing well thus far, it's just such a cool
We're
merge
okay.
for everyone, right?
Yep.
Marginal at best. It's one in
Yeah.
our
One day at a time.
one day at a time. That's it. It's better than marginal at best. It's one day at a
Yes.
time. But that challenge and that change is so good for everyone.
Yeah. It's again, we digress to what we were saying is that change. It's super scary. You know, when I did it, everyone at Chicago, at least my close friends, guys in the firehouses I worked with, and again, hats off to them. That it was I feel like a lot of people that don't make that change, it's because they're stuck. It's not settled. I don't think that's the correct thing to say. I think they're just stuck. Like I think they're afraid if they make that change, like it's significantly like I didn't know if I was going to get fired tomorrow, right? I don't know if I'm going to lose my job. I just uprooted my entire family, right, to a whole nother state. Everything they're accustomed to, they're used to, based off of like I got a good feeling in my stomach, right? I feel good about this. Like when I teach, I always say I do everything by the tummy factor, right? If my tummy don't like it, I don't like it, right? And I felt my tummy was good, right? And I know it's a grown man saying the word tummy, but whatever. Um, I felt really good about this. I felt comfortable with the risk, and I thought that this would excel. It was my happiness that I took away. It was like I think whatever I'm going to take my sacrifices, my happiness was the most important thing. My wife and I were just talking about it last night. I go, Yeah, I wasn't making the amount of money I was making there. I didn't have all the opportunities my kids had, doctors and things like that. Like all the opportunities were there and money. I significant pay cut and other things, but my happiness, holy cow, I'm a millionaire. In my happiness, I'm a millionaire. And my family, same thing. Took them a little bit longer to get to where I'm at, but ultimately they have to see that this was a better move for our family and the change was well worth the risk. And as long as they felt comfortable with it, now they're in their groove, we're okay. I heard, I know like five people directly right after I left said these exact words. Torres left. I could do it too. Five
There you
people
go.
did it. They all did it, and it was crippling to that. People. Of course, the Chicago Fire Department will say like, whatever. We're a number. We're expendable there, right? They don't care, but smaller places care, and this place cared. And these my friends went. They give a shit about where they're at now, and they care about them. So their change, their happiness was worth the risk as well. So I think anybody can change. It's just how comfortable you're with that risk. That's the question.
And it's the lifestyle of it too, right? Where you're going from a very big city environment to where you're at now, which I'm assuming is much smaller in
Oh yeah.
difference, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that kind of a lifestyle change is huge. And I agree with you that your wife, your kids, it probably did take them a little bit longer, but they start to reap those rewards. I mean, I only moved 30 minutes south from where I grew up and where we lived and started our family, but it's a very different environment down here. And when we told our kids we were leaving, they were like totally not happy. Now you fast forward 6 years later, and they're like, we couldn't see our lives if we were still there because you guys did this for us. And I think that's a big part of it, And it wasn't the leap that you took because I'm still in the same department. My wife still works for the same place, but it's still just making that change. And it was not easy. It was definitely toiled over for a while. So I
Oh
can only
yeah.
imagine how yours was.
I told my oldest, Alex, he's 17. He was going to graduate last November, and he continued on to go a whole full year of school here. Um, I I tell him, I look him in the face, go, Alex, this is the last time I'm fucking you, kid. I'm so sorry. This is the last time I'm doing it, man. I said that genuinely because guys ask. I don't know if you gotten this question, but I got the question a lot. Was, man, I want to be an instructor like you, Mike. How do I be like you, man? Teach all over the place. I want to be like you. I go, you married? No. Kids? No. Perfect time. Let's start you up.
Go.
You can't do that, And I took away a lot from my oldest because I missed so much from him. And I have to apologize to him a lot to say, hey, man, I cheated you on a lot of stuff that I should have been there for, bro. I should have been there for you, bro. And I wasn't. I failed you. I failed you as a father. So I tell people to heart, like, this is no joke. Like, I don't know how everyone else feels about this stuff, but if you're going to do whatever you want to do and you want to be this, you got this heart on to be this, man, I got to teach. I got to be at that level, man. I want to be at your level, Mike. There's significant risk that you're taking. So do it now when you have nothing. No offense. I'm not saying you're less of a man or you don't have
No.
anything. Not saying that. You're just not going to hurt as many people, right? I honestly couldn't have done it without the support of my wife. But I tell like my son, I go, whatever I can do. Art Zern, Chief Art Zern told me this. I go, hey, Chief, you know, how do you feel about your kids? And he's like, Michael, I was a shitty father. But you know what? I'm making it up as a grandfather. I'm going to make it better now. He's like, that's not the answer, but I'm going to make it better now. So I tell my son, like, do whatever I need to do to make you better. I'm going to do it. So I don't cheat my twins. I have 10-year-old twins, and I do as much as I can. I tell Alex, I go, I'm not treating you differently. It's just that I'm trying to be better, right? And I show in different ways. I got all his artwork all over my office. Like I love what he can do, and I support him and I push him and I go, look, man, it's not that I brag about you, but I'm bragging about you, kid. Like you have talent that I missed. I missed it, man. And I'm
It's that
sorry.
honesty, though, of you saying it right now to me and to all the listeners that people don't want to get into, even whether they're not even out traveling, being an instructor like you were, doing anything like that. Just when it comes to our job, emergency services jobs, oh, we have to be all in and we have to be all about the job and all about the job. But we have to be about the people that are behind us as well. And I for sure traveled a boatload when the kids were super little. And I tell people this right now. Again, I always say, like, if you don't have kids or a wife, go do all this stuff because this is when you want to do it. When my
Yeah.
kids were little, I was able to leave because they had no concept of time and place.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a day didn't
Yeah.
matter to them, a week didn't matter to them. They saw me on
Yep.
FaceTime, whatever it was, however you did
Yep.
it. Whereas now the boys are older, they're 13 and 11, and they know I'm gone for this long. And I'm
Yep.
still doing it, but I'm much more conscious. And I'm also much more conscious about being present when I'm here. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I record while they're at school. So, post 3 o'clock, unless it's, I'm recording with someone around the world and I have to do it at 8 o'clock at night. But it's
Yeah.
that being present and what you said, like you said to Alex, and being honest with him about your mistakes, your flaws, and how you're correcting them is only going to make him a better artist, person, man, whatever you want to say, and he does in his life, right?
Yeah. He got baptized into the fire service through me of my friends and my actions, right? You know, we talk about, kids, we talk about, suicide, things of that nature, how it mentally affects you. Unfortunately, my son had a front row seat to all of that. I'm losing my best friends in line of duty deaths, two of my closest friends, and then three of my really, really good friends in the fire service that I taught, I mentored. We were, I mean, so close. They take their own lives. And to sit there and try to explain that to them and to him personally, it was, holy cow, it's tasking. I remember
Yeah.
the very first time we talked about, suicide and how it comes up. I always hid, Elwood, Ryan Elwood. Um, I always told him, he's like, Dad, what happened to Ryan? Or Elwood. We just called him Elwood. What happened to Elwood? And I go, he had something in his brain he didn't know about, and it took him over, and he's gone. I never said he took his own life, right? I never said what he did. And I remember one day, Alex said, "Oh, I'm just gonna kill myself." Typical teenager shit, right?
Yep.
They say it. No intent, right? And my wife accidentally calls me up screaming and crying. Michael, I screwed up. I told him what happened to Ryan. Man, talk about getting kicked in the face and the stomach, you know. But then again, I was wrong because I hid that, right? Because I'm all about honesty and transparency, for the person that always says that, right? Calling the baby ugly, Mike, that's what you do. But I hid that from my son. And as much as I was upset with my wife, because I think the deliverance should have been different and maybe I should have done it, it was a harder conversation. But now he's in it. Now he's into understanding. And then, my friends died, right, in line of duties. And now we saw the consequences. Like, holy cow, firemen die. It's not a joke. It's not a cool job. I punch in, I repeat the same day for 30 years. And, thank God I made it. It's the realism of like, hey, tomorrow, dad may not come back, right? And it's like, shit, these are the conversations we don't want to talk about it at parties,
Sure.
Pip. Shh, shh. This is not comfortable. It's not safe space, right? And it takes a lot for people to sit there and own up and say that. There's a great book Deanna told me about, and it was a vulnerability. I forgot the name of the book, but the word vulnerability is in it. Holy cow, changed my perspective on just talking and opening up. Because, dude, you really think I wanted to talk about this shit? You really think I want to be exposed and showing feelings? But I can tell you right now, all my experiences, good and bad, have now molded me and pushed my words that matter whole nother level, right? Now you're putting things behind it, and they're like, holy shit, this isn't just talk. Or, I heard this story with this guy. Man, has
That's
changed.
it's so
Oh,
not in the parenting book, right?
yeah, no.
Not in the
Please, somebody,
parenting
if
book.
anybody out there, any of your listeners got that book, I got a couple chapters I could throw into you, man. I've learned some really weird stuff. So, Yeah,
It's
I
kind of like
don't.
fighting fires, right? It's not,
No,
there's
right?
no book that's going to tell you how everything is going to work every single time.
Yeah.
And the key is, though, is that, like what you just said there, that you're learning from it, right? And you're growing from it. And I know for my boys, I try to stress that like, it's kind of like first time you, first time me, buddy. Like, we're learning this together. So let's get through this together
Yep.
and we'll figure it out, you know?
Yeah. That's definitely a big thing. And I said, to get to this point, to get where we are, I think there was incredible sacrifices that we both have made, right? And when I go back, my wife asked me a couple days ago. She's like, "Would you change anything?" And I don't think I was thinking that like the fire service. But now I fast forward. I'm like, man, you know what? As much as I would love to have all my friends back with me, instead of me talking conversations with them and in dark rooms sometimes when I'm having a hard time, I go, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're all right. We got this. One day at a time.
All those things mold us into who we are today. And you have to look at it that way, right? And I think that's a big part of it. Even all the losses that we've had and suffered with friends and I just had a friend pass away from cancer. And again, my relationship with her and even her death molded me into a better person. And it's
Yeah.
always going to be there with you. And it's such an important thing to teach kids or anyone, and especially for young firefighters that no one wants to talk to them about.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. There are so many more happiness, right? There's so much more happy thoughts, right?
Sure.
Peter Pan, happy thoughts, right? There are so many more, right? There's tons of it. But my wife always says, you're like you know, I say she's like that. She's Oz in Wizard of Oz. He's cranking the thing. He's putting his foot over here. He's doing shit, right? That's her, right? She's orchestrating me. She's the man behind the curtains, right? To
Yep.
drive me to do what I need to do. And like I said, without her and the support, even my kids, my kids bring me back down to earth. You know, geez, my twins are so engaged. My daughter, she's autistic, and the way her mind thinks is like, man, I don't. Where did you? What did you? Were you on your tab a little too long, babe? Where'd you learn that from? No, Dad, I just what I thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And I go, shit. You're thinking this. So now I have to. Again, there's no playbook for dads, mas, parenting, period. And I'm like, man, I have to come up with another skill set to understand how I'm going to combat this. Not in a bad way, just I need to prepare myself for this.
To
And
make you better, right? To make you better for her. I
yeah,
mean, I have the same with my dyslexic son, and where I'm like, oh my God, where did you just come up with this from? And now I have to figure out how to do this. And it's just like firefighting. You're never going to have all the answers. You're never
no,
going to have every play, but
no,
you can learn and grow with it. And I think that's the most important part. I think that's why you love what you do, why I love what I do, what keeps us kind of going in this crazy life that we're leading.
yeah. I, I, I think of like, especially I was, I'm talking to a buddy of mine. He's going through some tough times. Shit's going down, and we're. I think this has been even prior to him, and just the way the fire service is. I like to say the instructor game, right? The instructor game, the platforms, the social media, just you being an
All of
instructor
it.
trying to make your name. I think that it has driven people to have such big egos to be. I want to be that guy. I want to be Pip. I want to be Mike Torres. Like I want to be these iconic leaders that we see and we look up to, and I will cut anyone's throat to get there.
So
What is going on?
yep.
Holy shit! Like, oh my dude, I can't. I don't get it.
And
I
especially
don't.
when you name drop some folks before that we looked up to and get to call friends now, which I still find really weird that I had like all
Very
those guys you
strange.
mentioned. I have their numbers in my phone type thing. They'll
Yeah.
they'll call me but I don't even think they knew what they were doing when they got to the level they got to, and they're just like they got
Yeah.
there, and now you have that attitude that you're saying, and I could never be that guy. It's the easiest way I can put it. Like it's just
Yeah.
really simple.
Yeah. And again, this is not an attack to
Yeah.
these instructors that are out there the way they are. Whatever. That's not the point. The point is like I feel like we're treating brotherhood. We preach that word brotherhood, 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 but to some people it's just a DVD. It's that movie Brotherhood, right? They treat it like a DVD. It's not. It has meaningless. It has zero meaning to them. You know. Keep things internal. Don't talk about it. Keep it like if you had a problem, right? Think about what it's going to do to affect that person's mental health, right? Instead, we put it on social media. We blast things. We're affecting more than what we thought, and we may have not have done it on purpose.
Yeah.
But we feel like we need to let everybody know this shit. Nah, man, treat it like firehouse business. Pip, if you and I are in a firehouse and we're talking about it, this is a family thing. This doesn't leave the walls. But for some reason, this shit's fucking it's everywhere. And now you're hurting people, right? You're destroying who they are. And the same with like the instructor game. Like people are like, oh, this is my PowerPoint, my material. Like, fuck, man, I've never had a creative thought in my life. I've stolen everything. I've gotten by because somebody taught me this, right? This worked. I tested it out. And if this doesn't work, I'm not going to use it. But if this worked, hell yeah, I'm going to use it. I called Bob Pressler up a few weeks ago. This is my first aerial scope. No fucking clue what this thing is, right? I know truck work, but I'm like, how do I short jack? I mean, what is going on with this thing? I don't know what's going on. I go, Bob, you got to help me out, man. How do you short jack this thing? He walked me through the whole process. It was the funniest thing in the world. And I'm like, man, that was easy. It's so nice to go to those people because, again, like you said it, they don't know how they got there.
Yeah.
Woo.
And
they're willing to give that information. But
they just want to help you, right? They want to make you better. Isn't that's really what it comes down to? They
want to make you better. But man, it's not like that out here, man. These guys, this game there's cutthroat. And it's, you know what it's doing to people? It's creating this gap, this void space between what I thought, you thought the brotherhood is in the fire service. It's to help one another out, not to undermine them, not to sell another article or another book, or I want to teach 10 more classes than this guy and I got cooler patches than you. It's like, I don't give a shit, dude. You can take all of this. If you want to live this, man, I'll feed you, baby bird. You can take it. Fly from the nest. I don't want this shit no more, man. I don't.
It's not worth it. It's not worth what you do to yourself and what you give up for yourself for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that attitude is not there. And this has been like the wildest episode I've had in a while because we went all over the place in this hour, from fitness to weight loss to dirty dancing to legends of the fire service to growing up with a cop dad to being a dad to the instructor game. And I love every minute of it. And I think this is why I keep doing this every week, to have conversations with folks like you and just put it all out there, man, and have a good time with it. And it's been
just a guy.
And just a guy.
I put my pants on just like everyone else, man.
But it's even better that we got to catch up, right? I have my catch-ups with people now on podcasts because it's just the way. It's just a cool way to do it.
It's life, man. Pip, it's life. I tell everybody I only have social media, not because I like to put whatever content out there, but it's how I talk to you. It's how I talk to other people. I mean, I got your number and shit like that, but it's sometimes I want to, oh man, it's his birthday today. I got to tell him happy birthday. So I'll get on the text. I'll be like, bro, happy birthday, man. I know. Yep. I want you to know that I know. I love you, man. And that's okay. Right. That's a fucking cool weird word to say to anybody. What's that?
It's that cool little thing we can do, right? Like just those little things that I love it, man. Well, we're definitely going to have a part 2 of this because I say this with a lot of my guests, but I feel like we can just go in many directions. We have to talk about, what was the weird dish in Chicago? The spaghetti and fish or something like that you told me. Oh man,
catfish spaghetti, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, people might think that's disgusting, man. When they cook it right, it's good.
It's good. We're gonna end this part of the podcast with that. And now I have to give you the size up 10. So 10 quick questions that never go quick. Are you ready?
Oh.
All right, man. Well, this one seems kind of easy for you. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
You've moved where there's no beach, bro.
I know. I love beaches though. The mountains, they're cool. They're cute. Beaches though. Always love water, man. This don't float really well, but go ahead.
Night out or night in?
Night in these days.
Nothing wrong with that. A good book or a good movie?
Good movie.
This is the hard one. Cross-country road trip. Who is your celebrity co-pilot, living or dead? It's deep. We get deep on the size up, man, after an hour of talking.
Oh, man. Celebrity? I Oh my God. Uh,
It could be a regular person too. I just throw celebrity in there for fun.
living or dead, huh? And not a celebrity?
It could be not a celebrity. I mean, more people know celebrities, so I gotta get the
True, true.
I gotta
I
get the Jeopardy music. We gotta get the rights to that, Jeremy. See if we can get the rights to that for me for this.
oh man, that's tough. Yeah, no, I don't this is gonna be crazy, but I'd like to make up some more time. Whatever. My mom.
There you go.
That's crazy.
It's not crazy.
But
It's that's good. That's a good way to do it, right?
yeah, I'm the John Madden of firefighting. I don't fly, so we'll get that's a whole other subject. But yeah, I'd like to talk to my mom some more.
Nice.
A little bit
Good,
more.
good stuff. Do you make your bed every day?
I do not. My wife does. My mother did too. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, no. My wife does. I don't. I just get up and go.
You threw a book title out there before, so I'm looking for a book that everybody needs to read. I'm just going to go with something with vulnerability in the title.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm trying to. I don't know if I have it on my. I grabbed it on my audiobook stuff, and if I can make it really quick, it's it had a huge impact on me just because I'm not a guy to talk about how I feel about shit,
Sure.
and I'll give you two books because they were both or three books.
Go
I know
ahead.
it sucks, but I'm gonna give you three
Don't
books.
suck. This is your podcast, bro. What do you
This
like? It's
is
like
my world. I
this
do what I
you
want.
suck. Get off my podcast.
Yeah.
You're giving help to people. You suck.
The People Code. I thought that was really good. Um, Jesus Christ, that vulnerability book. Damn it. Now I'm really upset that I can't find the damn thing.
You could send it to me. I'll put it in the show notes. I promise.
All right, cool. Yeah, and I'll send it to you. So that vulnerability book. I definitely enjoyed Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights.
Yeah. You're the second guest that said that. I have to check that one
Yeah,
out. Actually.
oh, The Power of Vulnerability.
Well,
That's the
there
name
you
of the
go.
book. There it is. So those three books. There's a lot of other good ones I really enjoyed, but definitely those books definitely set me aside. I mean, there's some leadership books that I like, but that changed a few things in my brain, and I was like, "Oh, I got to think about this now and how I am and who I am." But yeah, those are
It's such a great
three
question
books.
too, because folks listening that know you from the fire service would be like, he's going to pick like extrication tips and tactics or something like
Yeah.
truck work.
All my truck books back here. I got a bunch of them back here.
All right, being you're a big driver, which one do you take, highways or back roads?
I enjoy back roads, but if I have to get somewhere quick, I got to do the highway. So it's usually everywhere I have to get quick.
Give me a bucket list place to visit.
I want to go for some reason really bad to Spain and Bora Bora.
Very nice. Those are
I
good
don't know
places that
why.
no one has said yet.
Yeah, I really want to go to those two places. I don't know. They just intrigue me. They're beautiful.
Yes, that is for sure. Take the trip. All right, two more questions. This is another big one.
Shoot.
Football or football?
The words, are we speaking? Is that what we're speaking? What do I prefer to say?
Which one do you prefer? Which one? No, which one do you prefer to over other? Do you prefer football or football?
Football.
Nice. I like it.
Football.
More and more people go with that too. And this is like number 40, and I would say probably like 30 people have picked that. Like most of the people who pick football were actually football players that I've interviewed. So that's a good way to put it. All right, last question, buddy. Best advice you could give to your younger self?
Shit, dude. Really follow up on my promises. Really do something I'm supposed to do.
I like it.
Um,
It's something you don't think about when you're younger, right? And
yeah, I live with a lot of regret, and I feel like and one thing that comes up to my mind, and again, it's not to be a softie and bring on remorse, and this is an awesome podcast, but I remember my mother saying she wanted before she passed, Michael, can you take me to one more dinner? And I said, Ma, I was so busy with teaching, training, doing shit, running around. I forgot the needs of, she just wanted to go to dinner one more time. And that has set heavily on me for a long, long time. And so it's like, yeah, make up on your promises and try not to live with so much regret, Mike. Actually follow through a little bit more when you say you're going to do it. I think that's what I tell my younger self is you're going to say you're going to do it, Mike, go do it. Cut it out and just say, yeah, you're not going to be there tomorrow. Just
Hey,
do it.
man, that is such great advice for anyone, myself included, because it's again, take the trip. It's go do the thing. It's record the podcast. It's set it up. It's all these things that we can always do better. And again, I think that there's been so many themes in this podcast. I know what the title is going to be already, but like it's just that one day at a time, do better type attitude that you and I've
Yeah.
never even really talked about. So it's been great, bro. I can't thank you enough for coming on today.
Dude, I am so humbled and honored right now that we even had this conversation. I mean, last year when you said you got to be on, you had Jeremy, you got to be on, you got to get this guy on your podcast, and I'm like, I sat there, I thought to myself later on after that day, I was like, who am I to, who is, who am I, or for anyone to say you got to be on this podcast, right, or be on anything, right, or teach anything or do anything? Who am I? And I was like, man, that meant a lot, and I was super excited. So when I saw you, I'm like, dude, we're doing this year, baby.
You
I
actually
got to
like,
get
held me
back.
down.
I got to get
Like,
on this thing.
I gotta
got
go
to
on
talk some shit with you, and we got to do it. So I'm honored, and I'm very humbled for you to even think of me to be on your awesome podcast, brother.
Listen, man, I cannot thank you enough. We will have a part two at some point. I don't know when it's going to be. I can't promise that one for sure, but it will definitely happen for sure. And we're definitely going to do some more stuff together. So thanks for coming on, Mike. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to obviously Jeremy and Sebi and Rob and Mickey and everyone at National Fire Radio for, again, giving me this opportunity to be out here, getting to talk to my friends, meet new people. I have loads of episodes coming up in the tank with some new guests that I did meet at FDIC for the first time, not just people that I've known throughout the years, with some really awesome stories to talk about what they do off the job. So for the Size Up, this is Pip, and we will catch you next time.
National Fire Radio.